My name is Marcella, and for my senior project, I decided to take up photography. I decided to use the Canon camera with an extended lens. It's the Canon Rebel T5, and I used this camera all throughout my journey to document the pictures. How I was gonna document all the pictures that I was taking was a very important decision that I needed to make before I began my journey, and I decided to do a photo essay. A photo essay is a set or series of photographs that are made to create a series of emotions in the viewer. So the emotions that I am trying to evoke in my photo essay is despair, but hope and resilience. For me to be able to document the effects of COVID-19 on my community as a reminder for later in the future, and to be able to show future generations actual pictures of the effects that took place all around us. That I wanted to learn was how to take pictures in the outdoors. So most of the photos in my photo essay are outside using natural light. However, there are parts of my photo essay that are indoors because it was a very crucial part of the story, such as the supermarket, because I thought that was a very important place to document. In my research, the first things that I looked up was the history of photography as well as the history of the camera, because I thought it was very important to understand the foundation of which the topic that I'm studying was built upon. To give a brief overview about the history, the first photograph, or the earliest known surviving photograph, was taken by Joseph Nicephore Niepce in 1826. The image depicts the view from an upstairs window at Niepce's estate, La Grasse, in France. It is taken with a camera obscure, a pinhole camera. Alhazen invented the camera obscura in AD 1021 and explained why the images were upside down. The first camera that was small and portable enough for practical use was built by Johann Zahn in 1685. The first permanent photograph was made in 1826 by Joseph Nicephore Niepce. The first color photograph was made by Scottish physicist James Clerk Maxwell. Although color photography was explored throughout the 19th century, initial experiments in color resulted in projected temporary images rather than permanent color images. Moreover, until the 1870s, the emulsions available were not sensitive to red or green light. The first color photo, an additive projected image of tartan ribbon, was taken in 1861 by the Scottish physicist James Clerk Maxwell. After learning about photography's history, I started learning about the parts of the camera and their functions. I learned about the viewfinder, the rewind knob, the flash shoe, the lens, and the shutter speed dial. After I did my research about the history, I decided it was time for me to start looking up tutorials, as that was the most effective method for me to start becoming more familiar with my camera. Types of videos, from the beginner's guide for my specific camera to professional photographers speaking about their experience and how they are able to take pictures, as well as other people using my camera, the same camera that I have. Different types of videos ranging from the beginner's guide to how to use my specific camera, to professional photographers explaining their methods on how to take outdoor pictures, to other videos explaining how to manipulate natural light. These are some examples of the videos that played a crucial role in furthering my understanding about my camera and photography. Tons of videos. I also looked up websites on step-by-step how to take outdoor pictures and how to best take pictures of buildings and other still subjects. It's important to do the most research possible because photography is a very intricate subject, and I wanted my pictures to come out good because this was a very important time for me to document. What I struggled a lot with during the teaching process was manipulating natural light. That was one of the big problems for me, because natural light is all about the positioning of the sun and how you angle your camera, so that getting the right light so there's no shadows on my subjects or anything like that was an extremely challenging part for me. Tries and some serious mentoring from my dad, but after lots and lots of bad pictures, I was finally able to get down the type of lighting that I want on my still subjects. Preparation and planning, it was finally time for me to go outside and take some pictures. However, I was really nervous because it was the first time that I was leaving my house since quarantine began, so I was really nervous as to what type of situations I would be looking at. I began taking pictures all around my neighborhood, and then I decided that it was time for me to drive to the supermarket and document what was going on in there. Hi, so it's going to be my first time going into the supermarket. We're going in the supermarket to kind of capture what's going on in there and like how everyone's looking, all the masks and stuff like that. And I'm a little bit nervous because I haven't gone to the supermarket throughout this whole time, but we're hoping for the best. The experience at the supermarket was actually a really positive one. There were many people there that were very encouraging, even some people that came up to me and asked me to take pictures of them. So I thought that was a really positive way to begin my COVID-19 journey, and it definitely set the pace for the rest of the time that I was taking pictures. After the supermarket, I decided it was time to pay a visit to downtown Westfield, as it is usually a really busy and popping place. I took pictures all around downtown Westfield so I would really be able to capture its vacancy. Downtown Westfield was a very eye-opening experience for me because all throughout my childhood and all the years that I've lived in Westfield, downtown Westfield has always been extremely packed and buzzing and flourishing. And so seeing it with minimal people on the streets, almost every store was either closed or people were lined up outside to get food. It was almost eerie in a sense because this was a place that so many people came. Another aspect of my project was not only documenting the negative effects of COVID-19 on my community, but also documenting the positive ones. I thought it was extremely important to demonstrate in my photo essay all of the unity and hope that came about from COVID-19. There were many posters and signs all over Westfield, and I thought it was extremely inspiring as a community to persevere through these hard times. These unusual times, something even more unprecedented happened in our country and has been taking place over the past couple weeks, and this is the Black Lives Matter movement. The Black Lives Matter movement has sparked protests all over the country, and a protest was coming here to our hometown in Westfield, and I thought it was of the utmost importance to document it in my photo essay as part of the unprecedented times of COVID-19. Documenting the Black Lives Matter movement in my photo essay book was extremely important because it was a way to evoke resilience and perseverance and show how a community is able to protest peacefully in these times of crisis. And I thought it was extremely important that during the pandemic, all of these protests are taking place because the cause is so worthy. My father and I had the privilege to attend the Black Lives Matter protest in Mindewaskan Park in Westfield on June 7th. It was such a humbling experience, and I was so happy to be able to document it and make it a part of my photo essay book. The Black Lives Matter protest was a last-minute addition to my photo essay book, but I thought it was such an amazing opportunity to be able to document it right here in my hometown, and it is part of the pandemic crisis in our country. So what better way to document it than by going to the protest and taking pictures myself? The COVID-19 pandemic has been such an important time for us as individuals to be able to grow and persevere in times of the unknown. I'm fortunate to be able to document these unprecedented times in photographs for my family and I to be able to look at for the years to come. Wrapping up my journey of documenting COVID-19 through photographs, I learned many things, but probably the biggest lesson that I've learned is not to fear the unknown. As a country, we are facing a pandemic that we haven't seen in over 100 years, and it is extremely scary as many people don't know what to expect. For a long time, we didn't know if we were going to be going back to school or not. We didn't know if we were going to have a prom or graduation, and times like that really test a person's character. Takeaway is to embrace the unknown because your community will embrace you too. I'm extremely grateful for this amazing opportunity, and I thank you so much for listening to my presentation. Thank you.